It's winter in the Dandenong Ranges, and the temperature drops as the storms roll in. I wait with anticipation for the skies to clear. Once it does, I'll be out there on my next adventure. Here we are, back up in Sherbrooke Forest. The idea was that I was going to take a photograph of the arch with fog all around it. The conditions were supposed to be perfect overnight, clear skies, no wind, no clouds. The weatherman got it totally wrong, and I got up this morning and I was bitterly disappointed. 6 o'clock, stuck my head out the door. Windy, cloudy. I thought, I'm out of bed. Let's go on an adventure up to Sherbrooke Forest. Come down to the fern garden and explore it totally. So I'm going to fan out right further out than I've been before, looking for backgrounds for my photo manipulation. You know, nice ferns and trees with roots that are all weavy, that look awesome. So I'm looking for that. Anything else I can find. There has to be something in here that I can have a bit of fun, have a bit of a play with, take a photograph. I'm going to sit down here for a little while. I'm going to soak up the atmosphere, and then I'm going to move out. I found my first subject for the day, and that is something that ain't moving. Not very exciting at all for me, but it looks nice. Thought I'd take a photograph of it. And I thought I'd also show you how I go about taking a photograph of something that actually is quite difficult to get good exposure with and a nice image, even though it's not moving. And that is some fungus on half a tree, half a fern. Over the years, the fern has grown around the tree. It looks really good. Now my subject has the actual fern roots hanging down off it. It looks really good. So the background I want in my scene, I do not want it to be distracting though. I want my subject to be the main part so that your eye's drawn to that. Then you can go and have a look around later on. But I want it fairly dark. I want a little bit of colour coming out there, so that it doesn't look too weird, having a black background. Don't want that. So I've set up my camera to expose for the background. Then I'm using my Pixel King wireless remote to trigger my flash, which is 3.5 meters away from my subject on a nice angle back, lighting up the underneath of my subject without blowing it out. I want to see all the detail in those gills that are underneath. And on top, I don't want it to be dark neither. I want to still see the detail on top. Because my flash is on an angle that lights up the bottom, I want to bring back the detail and the light on the top. So I'm using tin foil, DIY tin foil on some fern fronds that I've shoved in the ground to reflect the light onto the top, and it's worked really well. Here's two images that I've taken, one without the tinfoil and one with the tinfoil. So it makes a big difference. So I have the camera set up so that I can get the background to the way that I want. So that is ISO to 100 to cut down on noise. I have my aperture set to f11 to expose for the background. Same with my shutter speed, 1/13 of a second. 2-second timer, camera shake, touch camera. I don't have a remote anymore, I've lost it. The 2-second timer helps the camera to settle. Also have the mirror locked up to also cut down on vibrations, keep my image nice and sharp. Now, so that I can blur out the background and have it as something that's not going to catch your eye, I'm using zoom lens, a 70 to 300mm L lens. Now, that's how I have my camera set up. Well, I've come to the end of my adventure in the middle of winter in Sherbrooke Forest. Got some reasonable images, nothing spectacular. But I'll go home, have some breakfast and edit them, see whether I'm going to keep any or throw any out. Some of the ones I've taken are background photographs for photo manipulation. And here's one that I've taken. So I've added the background and then copied it, flipped it over, and it's distorted it to make it look like water. They're good fun mucking around with, and I do really like that image. It's one of my favourites. Photographing dogs in action is always good fun. So those ones will be really good, and I'll certainly play with them as the years go on. Well, that's enough of me waffling and carrying on. I've had a great adventure here, but it's time to finish it. So if you'd like to subscribe and get notification whenever I do anything else, click on the subscription button down below. And if you want to go and have a look at my channel and look at all the things I've been doing over the years, click on the icon down below. There's over 80 videos to choose from there, from me talking about all things photography, whether that's taking photographs of birds in flight, flash photography in a forest environment, or ones like you've just seen today. There's plenty to choose from, so go and have a browse. There'll be something there of interest to you, I'm sure. Now just remember, if you don't do, you don't get. So get out there and start photographing and filming wildlife. And I'll catch you on the next one. See ya. I wait with anticipation for the skies to clear. Once it does, I'll be out there on my next adventure. Now I have my camera set on a 2-second timer. That wasn't supposed to happen. I just wanted to wake it up.